So welcome to the conversation, and I hope uh, everybody will enjoy this next session as well. So to start off with, could you tell us a little about your childhood and where you spent it?
All right. So I was born and brought up in Qatar. So I have lived most of my life in Qatar. So I grew up in Qatar. So Qatar is this tiny Gulf peninsula in the Middle East. So Doha is the capital. It's a very, very, very small country and city. The whole population of Qatar right now is close to 3 million, so 30 lakh people. So in Dhaka itself, we're close to 20 million people, 2 koti. So
Exactly.
it's 1/7 the size of Dhaka. So, however, they are one of the most richest countries per capita. And it wasn't that. I have seen the meteoric rise of the city, of the country, of the development. Qatar is hosting the next World Cup in 2022. They are home to Al Jazeera. They are home to Qatar Foundation. So they have done strides. So Doha is the capital. My childhood, I actually grew up in a city south of Doha. It's called Al Wakra. So it's like back then, তখন এটা একটা গ্রামের মতো ছিল. My father was an engineer. He used to work for the power and electricity company over there. So it was close to his workplace. So I grew up in this small town, and I am so blessed, and I'm so, alhamdulillah, so privileged to have had a very active childhood. হ্যাঁ, আমি বাংলার গ্রাম বাংলার ডানপিটে ছেলে ছিলাম না, but কমও ছিলাম না. It was very close to the sea beach, my house. So I grew up with my father swimming, fishing, gardening. So কুরবানিতে আমাদের গার্ডেনে আব্বু আমাদের বাগানের ওখানে প্রত্যেক বছর কুরবানি হতো. So I grew up being a একদিনের কসাই for the whole year since my childhood. So from gardening, fishing, swimming, cycling, football, to everything. I had a very, very active childhood in the middle of a desert, and I'm very, very, very blessed to have that. While, I have a younger sibling, and he is 10 years younger to me, and he grew up with PlayStations, So paradigm shift technology had taken over by then. And kids were more into, indoor activities. They went to the malls when we went to the beaches, right?
But you had no less opportunity in technology as well, as I saw in the previous session of yours, being one of the first to such develop technology.
Yes, I did have a lot of tech, and early on in my childhood also, but it wasn't as developed. আমি যখন গেম খেলতাম, so I had a computer. My first computer was in 1992. So thanks to alhamdulillah, thanks to my mom, who was a professional. Because of her work, we had a computer at home, and I'm talking about pre-Windows days. It used to be called MS-DOS, command line prompt hoto. Right now, আমরা calculation মানেই Excel monokori. This was even before Excel. So there was a spreadsheet software called Lotus 123, Doom, Duke Nukem 3D, Prince of Persia. So it wasn't as fun, or as the experience wasn't that great. And more than anything, we used to be excited about কখন বিকাল হবে, কখন আমরা সাইকেল চালায় গ্যাং আপ করব, কোথায় কোথায় আমরা নতুন জায়গায় যাব, all the crazy stupid things. আমরা সাইকেল নিয়ে বালুর পাহাড়ে উঠতে পারবো কিনা, ব্যথা পাবো কিনা, পড়ে গেলে কতটুকু ব্যথা পাওয়া যায়. So yes, we had tech. I had access to tech, unlike many others of my generation, but I didn't let it take over.
That's great, Bhaiya. Tell us a little about your school life.
My school life. So My mom is a lifelong educator. There is a Bangladeshi school under the Dhaka Board of Education in Qatar. And my mom, alhamdulillah, from the very early days has been involved with that. Till today, she is a teacher over there. So I went to school in my mom's school, Bangladesh Mashurul Haq school, up until class 8. 9-এও কিছুদিন ছিলাম. I wouldn't say I was a bad student, but I was also not a topper all the time. আমি top 5-6 এর মধ্যে থাকতাম, and I used to enjoy that. হ্যাঁ, তখন তো বাবা মার ঝাড়ি বকা সবই খেতাম। And class 5-এ বৃত্তি দিয়েছিলাম, পাইনি। 8-এ বৃত্তি দিয়েছিলাম, জেনারেল গ্রেডে পেয়েছি, ট্যালেন্ট পুলে পাই নাই, এটা নিয়েও কথা শুনতে হয়েছে। So one of my very dear friends and classmate, রোকনউদ্দিন, ও ক্লাসের ফার্স্ট বয় ছিল সব সময়। In all of my 8 or 9 years of being a student, খালি একবার আমি ফার্স্ট হয়েছিলাম। And that too, মিশুর প্রচন্ড জ্বর ছিল। রোকনউদ্দিন, ওর ডাক নাম মিশুর প্রচন্ড জ্বর ছিল। সো তাও আব্বু আম্মুর কাছ থেকে এবং সবার কাছ থেকে বলতেছে, ও মিশুর জ্বর ছিল তাই তুই ফার্স্ট হয়েছিস, তুই তো ফার্স্ট হওয়ার মতো। But so that was my high school. I was very entrepreneurial from high school also. So আমরা আমাদের ক্রিকেট টিম, আমাদের পিকনিকস বা আমরা বাইরে আউটিং করার জন্য যে ফান্ড প্রয়োজন হতো, সো এটার জন্য আমরা কবিতা লিখতাম বা ম্যাগাজিন পাবলিশ করতাম। আমি একটা নাটক লিখেছিলাম, নাটক লিখে সবাইকে স্কুলে টিকিট বিক্রি করেছিলাম। যেরকম watch our natok, give us 2 reals. 2 reals right now is like 46 taka. So back then it was quite a decent amount of money. 2 reals. So 2 reals they ticket bikri korechilam, and from that we went and we organized our group outings and whatnot. So yeah, also thanks to my mom and my father, I mean, they focused a lot on extracurriculars. So আমি কবিতা আবৃত্তি থেকে শুরু করে স্পিচ, পাবলিক স্পিকিং, তারপরে হচ্ছে নাটক করা, অভিনয় করা, not too proud to share it, but nacha, thank God I couldn't get to that, but all the cultural activities and extracurricular.
You were a nerd and also into extracurricular activities.
হ্যাঁ, নার্ডিনেসটা একটু পরে ডেভেলপ করছে। তখন ওই যে বললাম, মানে টপ 5-6 এর মধ্যে 3-4-5-6 এর মধ্যে রোল কল চেঞ্জ হতো ইন এ ক্লাস অফ 40। সো হ্যাঁ, ইউ ক্যান সে আমি টপ 10 পার্সেন্টাইলের দিকেই ছিলাম। প্লাস যেটা হচ্ছে যে একটা অ্যাডেড এক্সট্রা প্রেসার ছিল, ম্যাডামের ছেলে, প্লাস আম্মু ইজ লাইক আমার ছেলে হয়ে তুই ভালো করবি না, এটাতে লোকে আমাকে কি বলবে। So always I had that pressure to deal with. So that's pretty much about my school life. যেটা হচ্ছে যে after that I got a scholarship to go to UK, but I didn't finish my high school. For certain situations, my parents decided not to send me over there. Instead, what I did, so I didn't go to UK, but instead I actually enrolled in an international school in Qatar. So so class 8 er shesh kore 9 er shurute I went to Qatar Academy, which is an international school, and I did my grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. So last 2 years of high school and college over there. So that's and I had a scholarship to go there. So that's pretty much my high school.
Right. Bhaiya, are you a sports person? Are you into sports?
Okay. So I am more of a sports watcher than a sports player. I do have vested interest in cricket. So আমি cricket খারাপ খেলি না. I enjoy a bit of squash. অনেক দিন খেলা হয় না. So আমার racket sports. I'm a very good table tennis player. So again, out of practice, me table tennis at one point in time I was an inter-school champion. Again, one of my regrets is আমি sports কে ধরে রাখতে পারি নাই, and my I haven't really maintained a physique for sports. আমি ছোটবেলা থেকে একটু চাবি নাদুস নুদুস ছিলাম, but there were parts of my life when I had hit the peak of my fitness and height in sports performance. আমি ওটা ধরে রাখতে পারিনি, so that's a regret. So I watch more than I play. I enjoy football, soccer, but football. I'm a Barcelona fan. I'm an Argentina fan. So anyone who has an issue or is a Real Madrid or Brazil supporter, come talk to me. And yeah, so I enjoy sports watching and playing when I get the chance.
That's great. But what inspired you to study communication?
Okay, so telecommunication is a separate story. My undergrad, if that is what you're referring to, that is actually mass communication. So it's liberal arts. So it's basically media, industries, and technologies. So it's your marketing, it's your data analysis, it's your communication, it's your public speaking. That's what I did my undergrad on. Telecommunication introduction হয়েছে আমার রবিতে, বা তার আগে আমি আমার early on in my career when I was in consulting. So what inspired me? So after high school, I applied to go to universities. So Qatar তখন নতুন অনেক American universities আসছিল under Qatar Foundation. So there is a university called Carnegie Mellon. They're one of the world's leading computer science and business schools. They are very great in robotics and AI. So my wife is also a graduate over there. So I started off actually in Carnegie Mellon. So I did 2 years of computer science and business administration. But 2 বছর পড়ার পরে what happened? So I was in my, I just had finished my sophomore year. My father was transitioning from a job. So I took a gap year, and যেটা আমি বলেছিলাম যে I was born into technology. I was very business savvy or entrepreneurial in nature from early days. So আমি দেখলাম যে now there is this new university which is coming called Northwestern, and they're offering a degree, they're offering a program in communication which combines a little bit of technology, a little bit of marketing, a little bit of writing, a little bit of liberal arts. So Sufism er class niyechi, business ethics niye class niyechi, international relations and politics niye class niyechi. So it was a better fit. I felt je business and computer science, I do not need a formal academic educational degree to explore this in my further career. What I really interested me was this mix of everything. So I decided to go and transfer into communication after a year.
Right. But tell us about your undergraduate life, the institution, memories, how it was like.
Okay. So Control Alt Delete, right? I didn't know how to do that back then. But now that I reflect on it, I unknowingly did it twice. But there was no balance. So যেটা বললাম যে 2 বছর আমি কার্নেগি মেলনে পড়েছি কম্পিউটার সায়েন্স এন্ড বিজনেস অ্যাডমিনিস্ট্রেশন, তারপরে I transferred to Northwestern and 2 বছর কমিউনিকেশনস পড়েছি. Those two experiences are polar opposites. Absolute polar opposites. So Carnegie Mellon যখন আমি শুরু করলাম computer science and business administration, you have to understand I came out of doing very well in college, came out with flying colors. I thought I was invincible. যে high school এ তো ভালো করেছি, মানে enough পড়ালেখা করছি, but more than পড়ালেখা হয়তো having fun, partying, and doing other things, hanging out with friends as a typical teenager যা হয়, ওগুলাতে ইন্টারেস্ট একটু বেশি ছিল। and since একটু আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ন্যাচারালি কিছু ন্যাচারাল অ্যাবিলিটিস ছিল, সো একটু কম পড়লেও হয়তো অন্যদের থেকে একটু ভালো করতে পারতাম, বা আমি বুঝলে আমি জিনিসটাকে খুব সুন্দর করে প্রেজেন্ট করতে পারতাম, ওই অ্যাবিলিটিটা প্রথম থেকে ছিল। সো ইউনিভার্সিটি আর কত ডিফিকাল্ট হবে, হাউ হার্ড ক্যান ইট বি? So first semester of university, I did all right. I didn't do great, but I didn't do bad either. It's the second semester of my first year when I fell flat, and I was like, you know, what the fuchka? Like, what just happened? I failed a course. I had to drop 2 courses.
Oh, wow, you failed a course.
Yes, this is what happens when you know, success is a lousy teacher.
Exactly.
When you're in the big boys league, when you take things for granted, doesn't matter if you are Alva Edison or Rizwan or Elon Musk, you're gonna fail and you're gonna make mistakes and fall flat. So I fell flat on my face. You know, it wasn't a great academic performance. Then came my second year. Second year, I will be lying if I said I recovered from that falling. You know, আমি চেষ্টা করতেছিলাম, but due to a lot of factors in my personal life as well, with what was going on with the family, and you know, life happened. I never fully recovered, and again somehow because of I had this thing, Jay, you know, undergrad, I'm going to have as much fun as possible and still see if I can pull off my high school stunt and do well. I didn't. So I had lots of fun in Carnegie Mellon in the first 2 years. Academically, I didn't do that great. আমি স্টুডেন্ট গভর্নমেন্ট বডির ভাইস প্রেসিডেন্ট ছিলাম। আমার নিজের একটা ক্লাব, একটা অর্গানাইজেশন আমি প্রতিষ্ঠা করেছিলাম, নাম ছিল Fun Limited. So Fun Unlimited. So I, the president, was busy having Fun Limited all the time, and my academics were going down to the drain, to the dogs. আমি অন্যান্য বিভিন্ন রকমের স্টাডি ট্যুর, this, that, internship, job, সবকিছু করতেছিলাম. So my academics suffered. Then it unknowingly that or মানে I took a control alt delete, ওই যে 1 বছরের gap year নিলাম. My father was in between jobs. I pulled out and did a bit of work, did a bit of job to soul search and support the family. Excuse me, sorry.
No worries.
Then I took a hard look at the reality, and I thought, Jay, Rezwan, this is not you. And this is what is expected of you. And oje ratre bela I couldn't sleep at well in peace. Jay, what am I doing? So when I came back to resume university after a year, and because of my lifelong friend, mentor at the time, even today I was speaking to her. Yesterday, day before, I speak to her on all the time. She was a professor, then she became a colleague. Now she's a friend, she's a mentor. She's a guiding light to my life. Her name is Susan. So because of how Susan coached me, I became serious in my studies. So Northwestern, the polar opposite was I became the Atal that you know and see me today in Northwestern, but I had zero social life in the last 2 years of my university. আমি কোনো ইভেন্টে যাই নাই, কোনো ক্লাবসে যাই নাই, ফ্রি মুভি নাইটস হতো, ফ্রি যত ইউনিভার্সিটির যত অনুষ্ঠান ছিল কিচ্ছুতে আমি ইনভলভ ছিলাম না. All I focused on was getting a 4.0 every single semester and making sure that I come out on top. And I correct that. মানে আমি যেভাবে দেখেছিলাম যে you know I have to balance it. I couldn't find the balance, but ওই 2 বছরের fun I offset 2 বছরের nerdiness and you know geekiness in the last 2. So I wish I had managed it a little differently. I wish I had you know had more of a student life and student experience in the last 2 years of my undergrad life, but I didn't. But friends wise, guys, whomever are in university, jarai ekhono university te achen ba soon to graduate or you're going to go to university, the 4 years of undergrad life, these are the golden 4 years, and you do not realize it until much further down. যখন ইউনিভার্সিটির প্রফেসররা প্যারা দেয়, অ্যাসাইনমেন্টের পর অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট থাকে, কুইজ থাকে, মিড টার্মস থাকে, ফাইনালস থাকে, মনে হয় যে প্রেসারে ভেঙে যাব, কবে এই ইউনিভার্সিটি শেষ হবে, কবে চাকরি পাবো, কবে টাকা কামানো শুরু করব। ইটস অল ওভাররেটেড। the time and the friendships that you make, the family that you create in your university years, they are your lifetime assets. So all my friends from university, I am in touch with many of them. Some I'm not in touch with, but friendship and having fun and continuing this bond beyond university, that is something that you should definitely not overlook and skip out on. ইউনিভার্সিটির কথা, আন্ডারগ্র্যাডের কথা বলতে গেলে, ফান এক্সপিরিয়েন্সেস বা ফ্রেন্ডসদের ব্যাপারে বা প্রফেসরদের ব্যাপারে বলতে গেলে, লাইক I get lost যে কোনটা রেখে কোনটা বলবো, কোনটা শেয়ার করা যাবে, কোনটা will get me into trouble. But I wouldn't trade my friends or the stuff that we did, regrettable or not, for anything in the world. I'm glad we did all the stupid, crazy things that we did. I'm glad what we didn't do, but make the most of it.
Yeah, that's great. So, Bhaiya, Harvard, how did that happen? And how did you realize you got it what it did?
Okay. So how did Harvard happen? So I graduated undergrad. I was working while I was on undergrad. I got a job. Then I always knew I wanted to, study and keep on studying. I consider myself a lifelong learner. So I was looking at different opportunities. Again, I am very, very blessed to have the blessings and support of a lot of people who have contributed into my life, and I wanted to make them proud. I wanted to do it for myself. But arekta jinish jeta chilo je in many ways I am a poster child of my family. I'm also the black sheep of the family. So a lot of you may not know, amar daknam ghore daknam hocche Tushar. So I prefer being Rezwan. That's what I want. But ghore, my baba ma and my chacha chachi and my close family members, they know me by Tushar. Not a lot of people know me by Tushar. So amar cousin ra, they're like, Tushar bhaiya eta bolche, Tushar bhaiya oita korche. And a lot of things, my senior family members, me being a very liberal, very vocal, very rebellious person, it doesn't sit with their norms. So they do not like me. যে তুষার বলছে তো কি হইছে, ও যে বললা গেছে, ও যেটা বলবে ওইটাই ঠিক নাকি, ওর লাইফ ওর মতো থাকবে, তোমরা এটা করো. So I have that aspect of me যে I am a black sheep of the family. I'm also the poster child. যে অনেক সময় আবার লাগে যে তুষার ভাইয়া কিন্তু এটা করছে, তোমার কিন্তু এটা করতে হবে. So I wanted to put the bar. A lot of people have this expectation of me that I'm going to set the bar. So I want to set the bar to the highest levels, to the best of my abilities. So I wanted to do masters. I wanted to do it from a good school that I know will contribute to me. I didn't apply to Harvard because it was Harvard. I applied to the program because it made sense to me. I was a full-time employee. Alhamdulillah, had a rising, demanding career at the time. Was a husband as well. So Samira is still there. We are high school sweethearts. So,
oh, that's great.
So throughout university, throughout our early careers, we were dating in a very halal way. And then we got married. We got married soon after graduation and early into our undergrad and early into our careers. But what I was also looking at, we want to travel, we want to, joto life agabe, getting to grad school will be more difficult. So early on in our married life, I forced us to apply to grad school and go into grad school. Let us get that out of the way. We were without our child back then. So, it's easier to go to grad school when we are not very high into our careers, when we don't have a child to look after. So I looked at all the programs. It made sense. I applied. I, alhamdulillah, got in. And that's how it happened. So I didn't apply to Harvard because it was Harvard. I applied to a lot of mediocre schools as well. Again, sorry, it might sound snobby. There are mediocre schools, but Harvard is a brand name. It's an Ivy League. I had applied to a lot of Ivy League schools as well. I got into a few. I got rejected from many.
And then you still got into Harvard. How was the feeling? How was the feeling then?
It was a sense of achievement and accomplishment. It was also very humbling. The day I landed on the campus, there's so much history. It really makes you larger than yourself. It is truly an institution. It's a place that has a purpose, that has so much of history, good or bad, so much of energy, so much of thinkers and doers, that it really, really inspires you. So, Protecta School, Harvard is in Cambridge. It's in Massachusetts, so it's in Cambridge, and so is MIT. So, I went to Harvard. I used to live in the MIT area. So, our apartment was in the MIT area. And as much as there is rivalry between the two schools, which is a better school, which is famous and which is everything, there is one street that divides Cambridge into two. So Massachusetts Avenue. So Harvard is on one side, MIT is on one side. Massachusetts Avenue, the Protecta Cafe, Protecta Restaurant, Protecta Pub, Protecta Bar, Protecta Ice Cream Shop. Shop Jagai, it's a melting pot. Protecta Parke, it's MIT and Harvard, and sometimes from across the river, Boston University students, from Northeastern University students, Berkeley students, Eshe, Adda Diche, and they're talking about changing the world. They're talking about doing things. They're thinking about what mistake did I make and how do I make sure I don't make it ever and other people don't make it ever. It's such a dynamic place for thinkers and doers. So when I went and landed, I immediately fit in, and it was love at first sight.
That's great. Now, what do you think is different about Harvard? The education system or the peers that you were with, how did you feel while you were there? What impacted you the most?
Okay, so I think for me, it's a combination.
Of course.
It is a combination of the education. It is a combination of the people. And the people there are very privileged, very exceptionally financially wealthy people that you get to meet and interact with. Amar, a classmate, her father has 2 private jets. So her weekend and how she spends her weekend versus how I paying out of my own pocket from the job that I had, supporting me, my wife, her grad school, her family. My weekends were very different. I spent my weekends working in the lab and hanging out with, all my friends in the local IHOP or going to a, park or free entertainment jigla campus ashpashe chilo, right? Not taking dad's jet to Vegas every weekend. But there are people who are also exceptionally economically wealthy, but down to earth. Je purposely একটা স্যান্ডউইচ কিনলে হাফ করে নেয়, নিচে অর্ধেক খায়. And it might sound very surprising, but Harvard there is a huge population of homeless people. So again, she belongs to a billionaire family, and she would order a meal and cut it into half and eat half and give the half. So there's a combination of people, and you need to know how to deal and how to work and live with both sets of segments. So it was the education, it was the place. Boston, Cambridge is beautiful. It is great weather. It's the people. It's the overall experience. It's the ideas. It's that melting pot. Je ekjon Berkeley student. So Berkeley is the music school that is in Boston as well. So there is a musician, there is an artist, there is a Northeastern থেকে একটা lawyer, there is an engineer from MIT, there is me from Harvard having coffee or having ramen noodles at 2 a.m. in the night and talking about each and every single thing. So that is what moved me, and that is what contributed me to the most. Opening up to ideas, not forcing, not thinkers versus doers. To learn to respect other people have other viewpoints. I may not necessarily agree with it, but I have to listen and I have to understand and I have to respect that. That is something that came from there.
That's great. Now, which period of your life do you think was your big turning point?
Okay. So every single achievement or milestone, every single milestone is a turning point or pivotal in our life, right? So graduating from high school to going to college to going to university, graduating university, going into job. But if I were to think about it, apologies, some of the turning points in my life was that year when I took the gap year. So যখন after 2 years of CMU, after 2 years of Carnegie Mellon, when I took the gap year to really understand and come to terms and agreement, this is what I want to do in life, or at least this is the direction, this is what I want my legacy to be, this is what I want my family and my parents and my wife and children to be known for, and I have to work hard for it. So thinking and doing things to make that a reality. So that year was a turning point. Definitely getting married was a turning point. Definitely the first second when I held my daughter, her name is Eleanor, when I held Eleanor for the first time, that changed me. So these big milestones are turning points, and both professional and personal. These are more personal. I think this is more of a personal interview than professional. Professionally, কথা বলতে গেলে মানে each and everything. It's in a grander scheme of things, professional milestones are not that important. They are not as weight bearing as some of these personal milestones are.
Right. As you see, we have a lot of young audience here. What advice would you want to give them if they want to, reach up to that level, go to Harvard, study in a good university, chase their passion?
Okay. So, dream big, right? Not Harvard. Think beyond Harvard.
Right.
You have to do what is best for you, what makes you happy. At the end of the day, if it doesn't make you happy, what are we doing? If live, love, laugh, stay hungry, stay foolish, take all the risks. If you are young, you have this unfair advantage, jeta ami bolechi, je you can afford to make mistakes with not a lot of repercussion perhaps, or with enough time to course correct and steer your ship in a different way or make adjustments. Right now, amar jodi ekta wild idea ashe, I can't just leave my job and pack up my family and go and say je Allah bharosha 3 mas pore ki hobe dekha jabe. I can, but people don't want to. That's not human nature. We some of us are very stable people. Some of us don't have that much of adrenaline for adventure. So calculated, generally speaking. So when you're young, try out different things. Failure is your biggest teacher. Success is your friend, but for a short period of time, because you have to constantly get into this loop of staying hungry, staying foolish, trying out new things. Take a class. If you are a university student, take a class that you thought you never did. In university, I took a comedy class, improv comedy writing class.
Oh, wow.
And my younger brother took dancing. So you never know what aspects of you will encourage. হ্যাঁ, আমরা হচ্ছে যে আমাদের আনফরচুনেটলি বাংলাদেশি সোসাইটাল কনস্ট্রাক্ট এবং আমাদের বাংলাদেশি সিস্টেমে যেটা হচ্ছে যে আমি যেটা সবসময় বলি যে আমাদেরকে ব্যাটারির মতো বানানো হয়, যে একটা চার্জ করব, মেশিনের ভিতরে যাবে, একদম শুষে শেষ হয়ে যাবে, it will give certain output, so it will get a job, it will get married, it will provide for family, it will do this, and one day it will expire. So if you want to do something beyond that, then you have to explore different aspects of you. So হ্যাঁ, MBA করেন, law পড়েন, engineering পড়েন, ডাক্তারি পড়েন, but also try to see where your other passion or interest may lie, because something great can come out of it, and if you do not explore, you will never know.
Right. But it's lovely how you manage being a family man and still cope up with your professional life. How do you do that?
Okay, I don't do it very well. I will not take credit for it. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to perfect. So I came to Bangladesh this time last year. I came to Bangladesh in June of 2019. So Samira and Eleanor, my parents, they're still back in Qatar. My dad is visiting over here. So I took this, I took this opportunity to work in Bangladesh, to work for Robi, to work in telecom industry. And I wasn't sure. This was an experiment, right? So we decided we will try it. আমি আসা যাওয়ার মধ্যে থাকবো, my family আসা যাওয়ার মধ্যে থাকবে, and এর মধ্যে once inshallah we have figured things out, we have come to terms and agreement, we have figured things out for ourselves. My family, আমি ওনাদেরকে, সামিরা এবং এলেনোরকে, I'll move them back to Dhaka. So এটা করছিলাম. So I was traveling every month, or they were traveling until December, and then pandemic happened. We got stranded. So we are looking at the first available opportunity that I can safely bring them back over here. Yeah. But it is also a blessing in disguise. They are in a different country and place. They are distant from me, because right now 24/7 I am working. I'm dedicating professionally. আমি রাত্রে বেলা কিছুক্ষণ ওদের সাথে ভিডিও চ্যাট করি, কিছুক্ষণ কথা বলি, WhatsApp-এ we are always connected. So I am yet to figure this one out. Kintu prior to Robi, prior to Bangladesh, we were living together in the same physical space, right? So that makes it a lot easier. When your 2-year-old or 1.5-year-old comes and starts pulling your pajamas, no amount of professional work will be able to stop you from, letting it go and spending time with her. So these are triggers that you do. So balancing family and personal life, it's about, again, finding what makes you happy and what are your priorities at the time. There will be weekends when you cannot go out and you will have to work, you will have to study. There will be weekends where you switch off and you don't want to talk about or think about work and give time to family. So in a grander scheme of things, as long as you make sure you provide the love and care and respect for your family members and you do justice to your job, you are doing well.
Definitely, that's true. As the vice president of Robi, how would you forecast the telco industry?
Telco industry is it's heading for a evolution and revolution. So right now, আমরা সবাই বাসা থেকে connect করছি. The world will not be the same. We are talking about a new normal, and in a new normal, যেখানে we are working from home, we are studying from home, we are teaching from home. At the basic of it is all connectivity. It's how you connect to the internet. It's how you communicate. It's how you collaborate. So Google Meet use korchi amra. There are other tools. So using those tools, you are doing everything that is expected of you. Telecom industry is now pivoting towards becoming a ICT and a digital services industry. So it's no longer just talking and SMSs. It's about giving people access to productivity. It's about giving banks the ability to run their operations from home. It's about giving hospitals the necessary tools to deliver healthcare to the people who need it and who don't have access to it in a remote gram gonj in rural parts of the country. Telecom is about আমি অর্ডার করছি বাসা থেকে ই-কমার্সের থ্রুতে ডেলিভারি আসছে আমি টাকা এক্সচেঞ্জ করতে চাচ্ছি না so it's about making sure that you pay for things or you receive payment for your products or services cashless. So this is telecom industry is heading for a very interesting revolution. It's a very data driven industry. So you know, with it's also about automation. It's also about artificial intelligence. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this whole industrial revolution 4.0 is catalyzed by this whole COVID-19 and how industries are either being disrupted or disrupting the world that we know in this situation.
Right, yeah, great. Would you like to share the current situation of Robi with us?
Current situation in Robi in terms of?
In terms of the current industry, the situation that's going on in the country and worldwide. Okay. How is Robi dealing with it?
Okay, so I think we are one of the front runners and foresighted companies, far-thinking companies. Everything that I have mentioned in my previous answer, that is something that we look at and we try to think and do on a regular basis in Robi. That's a part of my job. We are adapting, we are thinking, we are strategizing, we are doing, we are trying to find a balance. We are trying to activate and enable and help people to the best of our abilities. And we are doing it through providing a service. Not, you know, not everything has to be CSR. Not everything has to be a charity. You can add value. You can propel the industry. You can propel the economy. You can contribute into the GDP of the country by doing business, by providing services and products to people who need at the time that they need, where they need it, how they need it. So we are expecting, we are you know, absolutely adapting to that. Again, we are also adapting to the industry and the changing landscape. Work from home, you know, this has been working. So we are thinking, Jay, you know, do we really need all that big office space?
Exactly.
You know, real estate industry is going to take a huge hit after this, because our management, our leadership, we're realizing that we are actually better, we're far more efficient working from home than we were in while we were in office. So আমার দিনে যদি একদিনে যদি মনে করেন যে মতিঝিলে যেতে হতো, I would spend anywhere between 2 to 4 hours in traffic in commuting. So right now, I don't need to do that. So I have 4 hours that I can think and do other things, right? So we are very excited. We are also cautious of how we do things. So yeah, exciting times ahead for Robi, definitely.
That's great, Bhaiya. So for the current situation due to the pandemic, everything is going to take a new shift. Every sector, educational system, the corporate culture, everything. So what are your thoughts in it? How do you think people should cope with it?
How do I think people should?
cope with it or
Cope.
adjust to the new normal?
Control, Alt, Delete. Take a moment.
Right.
And it's so important. It's not just about physical well-being. It's about our mental, emotional, psychological, physiological health and well-being. So while I keep busy myself 24/7 working, it's not healthy. I'm paying with it, or might pay with it, with my health, with my mental health. So finding the balance, finding the right support structure. Again, যেটা আমি আমার ওয়েবিনারে বলেছিলাম যে I need help. Never shy away from saying I'm sorry, thank you, and I need help. So if you need help, if you haven't figured it out, talk to a person, talk to a friend, talk to a peer, talk to whomever you think you need to talk to share, to let it out, to get advice, to seek advice. When you do it with a person or in a safe environment where there is no judgment attached, যে সে তোমাকে জাজ করবে না, সে এটা নিয়ে গসিপ করবে না, আর 5-10 জনকে বলে বেড়াবে না, then it becomes a source of peace. It becomes a source of relaxation and confidence, and you build up from that. So professionally, this whole paradigm shift of new normal, first of all, I really hope we all we and our loved ones come out of it unscathed. And we find a resolution to this, whether be it a vaccine, whether it be it herd immunity, whatever it is, we find a way to beat this. But beyond that, how people should be coping with it is just being honest with one another. If a lot of people, amader society te, amader culture specifically, you don't challenge authority কে চ্যালেঞ্জ করা তো দূরের কথা, sharing your problems with authority is also not a common practice, which I really wish I could do something to change about it, change that, or I can do something about to change. কারণ হচ্ছে যে they see যে needing help is a sign of weakness. আমি যদি আমার বসকে বলি যে স্যার, ভাইয়া আজকে আমার খারাপ লাগতেছে, মন ভালো লাগতেছে না, প্রজেক্টে কি আমি আজকে না করে কালকে করতে পারি, এটা যদি বলি, আমার জবে, আমার পারফরম্যান্সে, আমার অন্য কিছুতে এটার রিফ্লেকশন আসতে পারে। আমাকে যখন প্রমোশনের চিন্তা করা হবে, তখন সে আমাকে এটা আমার এগেইনস্টে ইউজ করবে। এই ধরনের অনেক কিছু আমি দেখি। সো দে আর নট অনেস্ট উইথ ওয়ান অ্যানাদার। সো অনেস্টলি কমিউনিকেটিং যে আই হ্যাভ এ প্রবলেম, or I'm doing really good, আমি ভালো করতেছি, আমাকে দেন, she is struggling, let me help her out, my team is struggling, they are overburdened, আমার কাজ শেষ হয়ে গেছে, আমাকে ওই কাজটা ওকে না দিয়ে আমাকে করতে দেন, because ওর লোড কম হবে, আমি বিজি থাকবো, and the company wins. So I think the way to deal and cope up with this situation, studying, teaching, learning, working, earning from home, we have to come to a new paradigm of open, honest, transparent, heart-to-heart conversations at all levels. কারণ হচ্ছে ফিজিক্যাল প্রেজেন্সে যখন আমরা অফিস করতাম, আমার কিন্তু আমার জুনিয়র সাবঅর্ডিনেট যার আছে, ওকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে হয় না, ভাই আজকে মন খারাপ কেন, ওর চেহারা দেখলে আমি বুঝতে পারি, রাইট? কিন্তু যখন আমি এরকম একটা এনভায়রনমেন্টে আছি যেখানে I don't know what Zaber bhai is wearing, I don't know what Samira is laughing or listening or crying, I see that they're here present, I miss out on that exchange, that connection, that non-verbal communication. So how do you cope up with that? That is only by translating that into and converting that into verbal communication. So people have to honestly talk, share, and understand it collectively. We have to win collectively. So we will work together collectively.
Right. Bhaiya, we're almost at the end of this conversation. I'd like you to share what you think of Thinkdemy, and about what you think about their learning process, and how do you think they can be more effective?
All right. So a lot to unpack there. I think you guys have thought something and started doing it. So kudos and bravo on that. It is every great initiative starts somewhere. You guys are doing great so far. There is always room for improvements and learning, and that I say for first for myself. So of course, along the journey, definitely, I think all great projects, initiatives, things such as Thinkdemy that are destined for a purpose will reach there with hard work, with dedication, with the right people. So I think you guys have a great start. I think this is the way to go. So কারণ হচ্ছে যে আমরা কবে আমরা আদৌ ফিজিক্যাল একটা ওয়ার্ল্ডে ফেরত যাব কিনা, কবে যাব, কিভাবে যাব, we don't have visibility on that yet. So during that time you are doing a very necessary work of filling this void. So online learning platforms, online sharing platforms, online courses, online webinars, this is what we have access to. So we should, Thinkdemy should really try to curate, create, and collaborate with individuals, organizations. There is having a purpose larger than yourself. So, you know, I see that there is a great purpose. From the first day I met Onindo about almost a year, roughly about a year ago, I have been in touch with him and other members on and off. I've come to know about them. And it is that energy, that vibe to do something, to think and to start helping others, and in the process helping oneself and helping ourselves. I think that is contagious. It needs to spread like a wildfire. I wish you guys all the success. I'm very honored and I'm very privileged. It's my pleasure to be a part of this, and whatever I can do to contribute going forward, you can count on me. I would also, as a suggestion, say that you know, never stop learning, and in that I mean there are so many other similar platforms in the world, you know, regionally, locally, globally. See what they're doing, see what business model they're adopting. Today it was a fantastic session. For that we are contributing the money to a CSR kind of initiative. But you know, it can be a social business, it can be a profitable business. There is no there মানে কোনো কিছু commercial, people are making money out of it বলেই যে this is greed and this is bad. We have to come out of it. We have to break that stigma. You cannot donate every webinar taka to the needy. It will be great if we can, but then it's not sustainable. So finding sustainable business models, areas of monetizing it so that you can do more greater good, more people can benefit out of this. This is something that I would ask the Thinkdemy team to think and do.
Thank you so much, Bhaira. It was so enlightening, and it was an honor to have you here. I personally think I'm privileged that I got to have this conversation with you. Your last few words for the young talent, and then we'll end the conversation.
My last few words for the
young talent. Yes.
Young talent. I'm going to repeat: live, love, laugh. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Take risks, and don't give up easily. Adapt. Try new things, and always have faith. Always. This is something that I must credit my best half for it. Having faith.
Right.
Sometimes when things don't go your way, it is easy to doubt. It is easy to give up. It is easy to you know, not pursue or not continue with it. But if you have faith, if you act on your faith, then there is a higher power that will, that is our savior, that will make the universe sing to your tunes.
Great. Thank you for your time, Bhaiya. Thanks to Thinkdemy for this session. And thank you everyone for being with us today.
Thank you, Apu. Take care, everyone.
Take care,
Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye. It's been a real pleasure and honor.